What does 9/11, school shootings, the Rothschilds, Satan-worshipping cabal of pedophiles, and the Clintons have in common? Well, they're all conspiracy theories that Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene believe are truths. Hello from Washington, D.C., our national capital. I'm Chuck Kyle, a 30-year strategic planner, strategic communications expert, retired intelligence officer, and a D.C. transplant from West Virginia. Most of the things that QAnon followers talk about can easily be used as a roadmap through the 1990s show's X-Files. We can go back just a little further with V and explain the QAnon belief in lizard people. I've spent some time reading QAnon posts on 4chan, 8chan, 8kun, Reddit, and a host of other social media platforms. With the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th, claims of domestic terrorism, former President Trump's second impeachment, and the election of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, well, it's time to take a look at conspiracy theories, conspiracists, and if they are dangerous to society. What's the craziest conspiracy theory you believe? Heard of? Comment below. Bill, don't forget to comment about the discussions you and I had on my thoughts about the lunar lander some 15 years ago. As I've discussed before, conspiracies live in the realm of truth and possibility, not facts and probability. I will use the term belief and believe numerous times over the next 10 minutes. This is on purpose. I want to show how belief is a primary requirement in conspiracy theories. So let us explore three things. First, conspiracy theories and their popularity. Second, the difference between conspiracy theories and conspiratists. And number three, are conspiratists dangerous? In the end, I will show you how Representative Greene can be considered a conspiracist and not just someone who follows a conspiracy theory. Let's start with the basics. The first one. What are conspiracy theories? Well, there isn't an agreed upon definition. However, for our purposes, we will define it as an unverified and relatively implausible allegation claiming that an event resulted from a secret plot carried out by a preternatural, malevolent, and influential group of people. Yes, that was hard to say. Preternatural, that's outside or exceeding what is natural. Whereas like supernatural, that's godlike, beyond visible observation. Conspiracy theories are based on various thinking patterns that are not supported by evidence. Illusory pattern perception happens whenever we find a meaningful pattern in random stimuli, drawing correlations and even causation where there actually isn't one. People who believe in conspiracies have a tendency to see patterns that just are not there, and psychologists consider this a basic cognitive issue. Most famously, during our lifetimes, the 9/11 attacks were an inside job, or the government covered up the truth about the JFK assassination. Don't forget the moon landing. The Hollywood stage landing. Well, we'll go about that a little later. But according to political scientists, Eric Oliver and Thomas Wood, at least 50% of Americans believe in at least one conspiracy theory. Just to be clear, believing in a conspiracy theory isn't necessarily a problem. It's when a person believes in numerous conspiracy theories and they are in a position of power that becomes a problem. More to follow on this after my second point. Why has their popularity increased? Conspiracy theories. Well, especially during the pandemic, 4 factors contribute to the propagation of conspiracy theories. First, people do not like uncertainty or feeling powerless. And we all know that this is a time in which we felt that way. The theories provide some type of psychological comfort. Second, there's some type of existential threat. Conspiratorial thinking is really never innocent. There is always some sort of massive threat to humanity with many people involved. When a threatening event occurs, conspiracy theories help us focus the blame. When a big event happens, most people cannot accept this as just as an ordinary event. A conspiracy theory helps deal with that big event with an equally big cause. The CIA had to be involved in JFK's assassination. That's just an example. Third, conspiracies help explain unlikely events when something improbable occurs. Think about the election lately. Presidential candidate Biden defeating President Trump in Pennsylvania and Georgia. That's impossible. For months, President Trump convinced his supporters there is no way, without cheating, that Joe Biden could win. Well, when President Biden won, it had to be voting machine manipulation because that was a coping mechanism for his supporters. Even as of yesterday, I had a friend of mine from West Virginia who sent me another video saying, here is definitive proof that the machines were manipulated. People want better explanations for things, especially when they have significant consequences, like the election. Lastly, social media has made it easy for a community of like-minded people to find each other. Try to find a group who believes that the earth is flat might be a hard find in your hometown. However, on the internet, quick YouTube, Google search, and you'll have a home. And this isn't trivial. This has reinforced people's beliefs and makes them resistant to persuasion. My second point helps us explain the difference between a conspiracy theorist and a conspiratist. First, we have to talk about the sense-making process. People who believe in conspiracy theories are sometimes called conspiracists. They believe that their explanation is the most logical. They believe that they've applied a rational, reasonable process. Their conclusions align with what other reasonable people should have come up with. Those who don't agree with them, well, they're just people being fooled. They believe that they're logical. Other people are trying to be logical, but they just do not know the truth. Let us be clear. Again, merely believing in one does not make you a conspiratist. Generally, somebody to be considered a conspiratist must believe in several conspiracy theories. They must actively endorse these conspiracy theories, and at least one of these theories would involve something implausible. A big predictor for believing in a conspiracy theory is believing in other conspiracy theories. However, let us talk about the ones who believe in multiple conspiracy theories and actively promote them. This brings us to my third point. What are the characteristics of conspiratists, and are they dangerous? For the most part, a person who dabbles in conspiracy theories, they're kind of neutral at best. Bigfoot, Mothman, lunar landing, JFK, these are all areas in which crazy Uncle Eddie just provides entertainment at Thanksgiving. However, as we saw in 2016 and 2020, governments like Russia constructed conspiracy theories, or at least amplified ones that existed, and they did this for strategic and political reasons. They flooded Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms with memes and videos to polarize the American electorate. In June of 2020, our own president played into this realm, passing misinformation and disinformation about everything from coronavirus to Osama bin Laden's death, to election fraud. However, let's go back to conspiracy theories just for a moment. The most significant danger is that conspiracy thinking forces the believer to reject scientific consensus. This also has a compounding effect. Suppose a person believes that global warming is a hoax. Well, in that case, they're also more susceptible to believing other theories like vaccinations cause autism. Shortly, you have an entire web of beliefs based on truths, not facts nor evidence. Now, this is what drives a person to travel from North Carolina to a DC pizza shop to save the children from a pedophile ring of DC elites. Look up Pizzagate. They typically believe in contradictory conspiracies, or it's kind of an incoherence of theories. For instance, within QAnon, lizard people are ruling the world. Guess what? Justin Bieber apparently is a lizard person. Yeah, just Google it. You'll find him. So do the lizard people rule DC? Or is it the Clintons and the Biden elite group of pedophiles? However, for QAnon followers, it's both, missing the fact that they're contradictory. It's either the lizard people or the pedophiles, even if both groups do occupy the swamp. Another example is a believer who states that we got the coronavirus during vaccinations as children. It was dormant until we started wearing our masks. And once we donned masks, the virus was activated. Then moments later, the exact same person will say that the China virus was a chemical weapon designed in a Chinese laboratory in 2019. Well, it can't be both. But they don't see this contradiction. Second, they believe in conspiracy theories that have a bizarre content. For instance, the government is hiding evidence that aliens are walking around the planet. Cue Men in Black. Or the earth is flat. Lastly, they maintain conspiratist ideations. which is called conspiratorial thinking. They see that their beliefs are based on a rational evaluation of evidence, explicitly related to that conspiracy theory in which they believe. Some conspiracy theories are actually relatively destructive. For example, declining vaccination rates has been attributed to vaccination-related conspiracy beliefs. Studies have shown that these can cause people less likely to engage in politics. They decide not to vaccinate their kids, and they don't see any necessity in reducing their carbon footprint. Conspiracy theory beliefs is related to paranoia, low trust, receptivity to unusual beliefs, schizotypy, belief in the paranormal, and low agreeableness. Interesting, the low agreeableness. When you have low agreeability, it's also linked to the dark triad of traits: narcissism, schizotypy, and Machiavellianism. As you can see, there's a very slippery slope to conspiratorial thinking. I know it, all politicians have some form of narcissism, but having the dark triad and being in a position of power, this can be quite dangerous. Which brings us to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Honestly, I could care less about what she believes. The problem that I have is that she believes a lot of conspiracy theories. This shows to me that she has a basic cognitive issue and displays traits of the dark triad. Now, wait a minute. I'm not a psychologist nor a psychiatrist. I'm not diagnosing a mental health issue. But I do know my way around the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM. It's a book for classification of mental disorders using common language and standard criteria. However, having a person in a position of power displaying narcissistic characteristics like egotism, the lack of empathy, plus Machiavellianism, having a higher level of self-interest, absence of morality, and schizotypy, which is a theoretical continuum of personality characteristics, doesn't fare well for the common good. Representative Greene, she did make an apology speech for getting called out about her beliefs. Being called out about her beliefs. Not about her beliefs, but just because she got caught. And there is no fact that's going to change her mind. Greene has not been some passive subscriber to conspiracy theories, but an active promoter of them. She meets all the forms of the definition of a conspiracist. She should not have a public platform to promote her beliefs. We spent the last 4 years listening to misinformation and disinformation, and look where we are today. Remember, trust but verify. And to verify all the research in this segment, I have listed it below. There's a ton of it. If you like this video and the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. When you subscribe, add in the comments, I subscribed. Until next time, trust but verify.